share, and I'm sharing this because I think that the power of the testimony is something that it's like really powerful, and I've seen it like hearing other people's testimonies. And Jesus tells us to share what we've seen, and so yeah. So basically, I've had something called celiac for officially like a little over a year now, but it's been like affecting me for as long as I can remember. And it was like if I ate like the tiniest amount of like gluten, I would be sick for like days or weeks. And it kind of took over my thoughts. I feel like I was always anxious about it, and I always felt like I was missing out on like a bunch of things because I kind of like let the anxiety take over. And it was kind of something that I thought that I was always stuck with, because celiac is a lifelong thing, and you can't really get rid of it. You can avoid it, but you can't get rid of it. And growing up, I didn't really like believe in healing because like growing up, church was rocky, so like my family bounced around so many totally different churches that taught totally different things. And there were periods of time where we didn't go to church at all, so I was really confused. And most of the churches I had gone to believed that healing was kind of like a faraway concept that we don't really get to experience on earth anymore. And I was so confused with the idea because like I had heard so many churches that were contradicting each other, so I just settled with the idea that it wasn't true and that it doesn't actually happen. And I carried that with me for so long, and then eventually like my whole family just stopped going to church. But during that time of like not being in a church, it was sort of around COVID, so I kind of had a lot of time to myself, and so I explored my beliefs on my own. And my only influence at that time was the Bible, which honestly was like a blessing in disguise being alone, because the Bible is pure truth, and that was my only influence. It was like just facts. And so during that time of like getting to know God on my own, there were two scriptures that stuck with me, and I want to read them. So Psalm 119 verse 89 says, "Your eternal word, O Lord, stands firm in heaven." And Malachi 3 verse 6 says, "I am the Lord and I do not change." So basically, it's like if Jesus healed in the Bible and he healed in the biblical times, like he doesn't change, so he still heals today. And yeah, so my beliefs kind of shifted, but I never really once like thought about actually asking God to heal this, because I thought, I don't know, it just kind of, I lived with it forever, and I was so used to it to a point where I just kind of was like, it's something that'll never go away. Until a couple months ago on March 3rd, 2025, I think I saw a lot of you there, but I was at an event called Carry the Love at Gordon College. So it was a night full of like worship and a message and prayer, and it was really powerful. And at the end, they did a call to healing. And I specifically remember hearing the person on the microphone. She was like, "I want to heal, like Jesus wants to heal chronic illness, like he wants to heal things that people have been stuck with for a while." And I remember God so audibly told me, he was like, "Raise your hand, you're going to be healed tonight." And I was kind of like, that's crazy, like I don't think so, but I felt kind of crazy. But I was surrounded by people who encouraged me to pray crazy prayers and believe crazy things, because God does crazy things. So I raised my hand, and someone came over to pray for me, and she asked me what I wanted prayer for. And so I told her that I had celiac disease, and her face lit up, and she goes, "Wait a minute, somebody right here just got healed from that a couple months back." So she ran over, and she immediately laid hands on me, and she was praying for me. And I still felt crazy, but I was kind of like, okay, maybe this is real. Like she says she got healed from this thing. And so we prayed that night, and I went home, and it's kind of a scary thing, because to test, like to see if you have actually gotten healed from celiac, like you have to eat gluten, and eating gluten would have made me so sick in the past. So I put it off for so long, and it was like several months I just kind of put it off. And then I got to a point where I was filled with so much doubt, and I was kind of disappointed in myself because I had like chickened out for so long. And I believed a crazy lie that since I chickened out for so long that it wasn't true for me anymore, that like if I had gotten healed in the first place, like it wasn't true anymore, like it's been too long, which is a crazy lie because God doesn't change, like I had learned, but I don't know. And then towards the end of April, So a few weeks ago, I had to like go to a new doctor, and she had to, since she was new, she had to like take a bunch of new blood tests. And so she took a celiac test, even though it was kind of like, I already have it, like it doesn't go away, but she just had to take it for the record. And a few days later, my dad came to me right before school, and he was like, all the tests are negative, even the celiac test is negative. And I was like, that can't be right, like that doesn't make sense. But then I was like, wait a minute, maybe God did do it, like maybe he actually did. And the next day, I mustered up the courage to eat some gluten. And it would take about an hour for me to like start feeling sick from the gluten. So I ate some gluten and I set a timer for an hour. And that was the longest hour of my life. Like I was so nervous. I couldn't get my mind off of it. But the hour passed and nothing happened. So the next day I ate some more gluten and no reaction. And the next day more and no reaction. And today, so it's been like 3 weeks and I'm completely fine still like eating gluten like it's crazy. Like stuff that would have sent me into being sick for weeks and probably end up in the hospital. I'm totally fine. And it's so crazy because even after me putting it off for so many weeks and being filled with unbelief and doubt, God still worked. And so if you saw me yesterday, at church, I was like probably being kind of obnoxious because I was so excited because that was the first time I got to take communion with my family, like the bread communion because bread has gluten in it. And so yeah, my whole family now, we found at Castle, we're at a church that teaches biblical truth, and it's been so amazing because we all of our beliefs have shifted on the idea of healing now, and we're in a church community, and it's so amazing. And yeah, I'm still so shocked and amazed, but so this is my encouragement to you to pray the